These conspiracy theories are going viral right now. Okay, we actually have to talk about Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez because there have been so many random ass conspiracy theories surrounding them lately that it's kind of nuts. So in the last video, we talked about the conspiracy theory that Justin and Selena secretly had a baby and that baby was Reign Disick, and either because they were too young or because the Illuminati claims that you have to sacrifice your first child, therefore Kourtney Kardashian somehow ended up with the baby. Girl, I don't know. Honestly, it depends on who you're talking to, but basically, all in all, they have the same conclusion, which is that Selena Gomez is not really Selena Gomez. And that, I kind of understand where people are coming from. But the other night, while I'm filming this, people are talking about how Justin Bieber went live and he was apparently crying and being like, it's all true, like all of it about Selena is true, and yet there's no evidence of it. It kind of is giving the same vibe as the Miami Mall like alien incident, where people claim that videos were deleted from their phone.
Bro, I had proof about the Justin and Selena thing and about him crying on live about her. I swear I saved this to my phone, just a little small clip of it. I think it was like a 3-second clip. I found it on TikTok. I had to scroll, do my research, do everything. It's not on my phone anymore. I just went to go make this video and to insert it into this video. It's not on there anymore. Now tell me how that just magically disappeared. And y'all can say that I'm lying. Y'all can say I'm making stuff up. That's fine. But I am telling you, I had it on my phone. I even went into my recently deleted and it's not there anymore. Now, please tell me how that happens. That's wild. And I can't find the video again online. I don't know.
Okay, so there are several videos of different people saying this and claiming this to be true, like similar situations and scenarios of Justin Bieber being on this live stream. I don't know if it is just like this huge rumor that people are just like straight up lying about that, or if it is something that literally happened. But either way, it really does add another layer of mystery to the whole conspiracy theory. Did the Hollywood elite make Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez sacrifice their first child? But people believe that Selena didn't want to sacrifice her kid, so she ended up sacrificing herself. And that's why Selena Gomez looks so different now. I think it's an interesting theory for sure, but I kind of saw this theory as mostly a joke. Like, I didn't necessarily believe it. Yes, I do think Selena Gomez looks different, but also it's been like 15 years, but also people are comparing pictures of her from 15 years ago, so obviously she's gonna look different. However, as an adult, something that doesn't change is somebody's height. Just saying. And that's where the conspiracy theory felt interesting to me, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna jump on this bandwagon about Selena and what's going on with her. If you Google her height, it says that she's 5'5". And if you Google Benny Blanco's height, it says that he's 5'9". Notice in this picture, she's wearing flats. Something is not adding up here. And I decided to put this picture in for reference because this is Selena and Timothée Chalamet back in 2017 when they filmed A Rainy Day in New York. Now, if you Google Timothy's height, it says that he is 5'10". So I want to know who is lying here. And if no one is lying, that means Selena has grown 5 inches in the last 9 years. Is that possible?
All right, so the reason this actually does freak me out, and I'm like, okay, maybe it is a clone, maybe it is somebody else, I don't know. Because obviously your height's not gonna change by that much in such a short amount of time in your adult life. Like, that just doesn't make sense. But something else that bothers me about this particular theory is that the only other explanation is that Benny Blanco is like lying about his height, which a lot of men do. Could that be true? Yeah, but no, because there's pictures of Benny Blanco and Justin Bieber together, and they're clearly the same fucking height. And obviously, like, yes, you have shoe differences and all that shit, but when you look at Selena standing next to Justin and Selena standing next to Benny Blanco, she clearly has gotten taller. I swear, it's actually freaking me out a lot. And also, I've never really believed the part of the conspiracy theory that, like, Kourtney Kardashian is not Reign's real mother. Like, I've always thought, like, if this theory had any truth to it, maybe Justin Bieber is the secret baby daddy. But people were comparing pictures of Selena and Justin from when they were little to Reign Disick, and honestly, they genuinely look like that could be their kid. But I don't know. I don't know if I buy into the whole theory, but it is definitely getting more and more interesting as the days go on. A lot's unfolding on TikTok. And a lot of people also have this weird theory that the new Selena Gomez is Geena Davis.
A wonderful addition to my life. I feel extremely lucky.
I started it because I found out when I had kids that kids' entertainment stuff made specifically for them, like even preschool.
I would say they definitely look alike and sound alike. Like, they seem to have a similar flow with their words, but obviously, like, I don't think she's Selena Gomez. But that doesn't mean that I think Selena Gomez is Selena Gomez, because I don't. I don't know. Maybe I do. I don't know. It's hard because obviously with so much shit coming out about different conspiracy theories and finding out that they're actually true, it does make you kind of believe these things a little bit more. And I feel like everyone is kind of feeling like that. But this one, I'm just unsure. I don't know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts though, because this has been going viral all over TikTok right now. And people seem to really believe it. Like, a shit ton of people. It's surprising me how many people are actually believing this theory. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Are we in agreement with the theory, or do we think that Selena has just gotten older? I don't know. The height thing doesn't make sense. I'll say that. All right, speaking of clones, another viral conspiracy theory right now, and I think it's because her and Mr. Bill Clinton are set to testify, is the idea that Hillary Clinton and Sabrina Carpenter are somewhat related, doppelgangers, or clones of each other. Do with that what you will, I don't know. This basically started by people comparing old photos of Hillary Clinton to Sabrina Carpenter. A young Hillary Clinton, why does that look exactly like Sabrina Carpenter? I don't fucking know. It's scaring me just a little bit. And I feel like there's 3 different versions of this conspiracy theory. One is kind of the meme where it's like, obviously these two kind of just look alike. And it's funny to be like, oh, Sabrina Carpenter is secretly Hillary Clinton. Like, it's obviously kind of a meme, like in a joke. And then the second level of this theory is somehow they must be related. I've seen various conspiracy theories about this, like how Sabrina Carpenter is somehow Jeffrey Epstein and Hillary Clinton's daughter. Like, I don't really believe that per se. I mean, maybe they could be related in some way that we don't know about yet. I do think it's interesting that Sabrina Carpenter's aunt is like, donates like hundreds of millions of dollars every year to the Church of Scientology, because that's also just a whole different rabbit hole. But that's her aunt Nancy Cartwright, who's her aunt through marriage. But it is still interesting that any of these things connect, okay? And I think the most popular conspiracy theory about this is that people think Sabrina Carpenter is a clone of a young Hillary Clinton. And so what would this look like? I don't know, people believe different kind of parts about this as well. Like, some people think that Hillary Clinton could have been cloned years ago, but they only started up Sabrina Carpenter when they did, because then after Hillary Clinton dies, her soul will just jump into Sabrina Carpenter's body. Guys, it's a little tinfoil hat. Even for me, I'm like, girl, I don't know. I personally think that it makes the most sense. Well, besides that it is a meme, because I don't really believe in this conspiracy theory overall. I think it makes the most sense that they're related in some way, or like kind of that whole bloodline angle, which is that basically there's like an elite Hollywood bloodline, and Hollywood doesn't create stars, they create bloodlines, and you know, that gets applied to nepo babies, old money elites, political families. Basically the people who are going to be famous are kind of pre-selected in a way, because they're all somewhat related to each other. And I do think that this could be true, because the amount of like variety of people who have been accused of being involved in Jeffrey Epstein's crimes is kind of nuts if you think about it. Like, we have political figures, we've got the royal family members, which, by the way, Prince Andrew arrested. Do I think he's gonna go to jail? No. Maybe. I hope so. He should. But like, he has so much money and power, it's honestly would be very shocking to me if he actually ended up in jail. But anyway, there's various models, singers, actors, all of these people were coming together to be a part of this terrible thing that Jeffrey Epstein was doing, allegedly. But it does kind of go hand in hand with the conspiracy theory that perhaps there is some sort of Hollywood bloodline that we don't know about, that is a requirement to get famous. And sometimes I think this doesn't need to be like literal blood. It could just be centuries of knowing each other and having that power dynamic. I don't know what I think is true here, but I will say, like, I do think there are way too many celebrities that look like other celebrities, because what the fuck is that? What is that? You know, it's a theory I actually like to believe, is that Hillary Clinton learned how to time travel. And she traveled back in time. She said, I want to be a pop star. And now she's living life as Sabrina Carpenter. I like that conspiracy theory, but let me know what you think. All right, the next theory we're gonna talk about has to do with Ellen DeGeneres and her hosting the 2014 Oscars. So this has been a part of a conspiracy theory for a while. There's basically this clip from the 2014 Academy Awards that people just can't look at the same way anymore, especially now. But essentially Ellen has a whole bit in her hosting thing about ordering pizza and getting pizza, and it's weird, okay? Especially when we look into who exactly directly she's talking to, and the fact that now we know that those people have been directly involved in crimes like this and possibly tied to Epstein according to the files. It's fucking weird, okay? And we obviously know that pizza is a code word that these people use. And I'm not saying every single time a celebrity talks about pizza, they're talking about this, because obviously pizza is a popular food, but clearly in certain circles, it's absolutely now proven to be a code word. So I think it is a little concerning anytime a celebrity brings it up. But Ellen in this clip was just so weird.
Hi. Hey, Jeffrey, how are you? Is anybody hungry? I just feel like everybody's got to be hungry right now. Good. I was hoping you'd say that, because I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza. And so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer? Yes? Harrison? Yes? Yes? Mark? All right. Large, what do you think? I'm going to order some pizza. That's what I'll do. So I borrowed Pharrell's hat, and I thought I'd pass it around and get some money for the pizza, because nobody ever really, what do you have, Harvey? 200? 200. That's a start. Right? That's a start. Let's see, what do you have, John? Would you have 20? Kevin?
20. That's for you.
Thanks so much. Okay. Down. We have cheese, we have different kinds. Who's hungry? Who's gonna eat on this side? Okay. Cheese, that's a cheese. Yeah. Julia wants cheese. Who's your favorite movie star? They're here. Who do you want to talk to? The whole thing? All right, great, great. And then I don't have any money. Who here has... Sandy? Where's Harvey Weinstein? Harvey. No pressure, only 1 billion people watching. Whatever you feel is right.
So this is obviously incredibly strange for a lot of reasons. One, we obviously now know, based on the Epstein files, there have been many times where it is pretty clear that pizza is a code word. And this Pizzagate has been a long-running conspiracy theory since well before Epstein died. So it is weird as hell that this was a bit, I don't know, it's just such a lame bit in the show. But to me, I don't know if I would outright be like, yes, they're definitely talking about that kind of pizza here. Besides the fact that she directly goes to Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, the two people who have been now convicted a few years later of doing similar crimes to Jeffrey Epstein. That's just fucking weird. That's weird, okay? I mean, you could call that a coincidence if you want, but I don't know if I believe in coincidences anymore. I think that's a little weird, especially because Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey's names both come up in the Epstein files, so I don't know. And then she also says, hey, Jeffrey, in the beginning, which she's not talking to Jeffrey Epstein. I saw people say that, but that's not true. She was talking to Jeff Bezos, which obviously not great either. So I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because I feel like this can't be a coincidence, but I want to know what you guys think. Speaking of the Epstein files, there is a pretty dark conspiracy theory that the Black Phone movie is about Jeffrey Epstein. So this actually makes a lot of sense. So basically this 2021 horror film was about a serial killer called the Grabber who would take children, and his mask looks exactly like Jeffrey Epstein. What the hell do you mean by that? And what's even weirder is this is based off of a short story that was published in 2004 by Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. And obviously Stephen King is a super famous author, so he probably had a lot of connections. And just because he wasn't friends with Jeffrey Epstein doesn't mean that he didn't know or hear about this through the grapevine and then told his son, or people have the conspiracy theory that his son was a victim of Jeffrey Epstein specifically. I don't know if I necessarily believe that part, but I do think it's really weird. And also Stephen King is mentioned in the Epstein files, but like not in any like incriminating way. It's just a really weird email to Jeffrey Epstein about the top earning authors. I don't know why he like needed that information, but they talked about like Stephen King making $15 million. I just thought it was weird and kind of strange, but also it seems like this dude was just in everybody's business. I don't know, but I will say without shadow of a doubt, that mask looks exactly like Jeffrey Epstein. Like it really fucking does, and I don't like that. I don't really watch scary movies because I get scared. So if you've seen this movie, please let us know if it like adds up and correlates even more when you watch the actual movie itself. But girl, just the mask is enough. I don't like it. I don't like that at all. All right, the next theory coming from the Epstein files has to do with a woman named Susan Hamblin. So this is a very interesting thought process going viral right now, basically, because there is this email in the Epstein files where the name is redacted, but the DOJ kind of messed up where you could kind of see the like letters a little bit in the email, and it looks like it's from someone named Susan Hamblin, and we're going to talk about who she is. But this person, allegedly Susan Hamblin, wrote, "I give you permission to kill him," to Jeffrey Epstein. What do you mean by that? And why is this being redacted? I don't know. The things that are being redacted make no fucking sense to me, because like, I feel like that should be there. That should be, we should know who said that, about who, and where. But Susan Hamblin, like there has been a lot of different conspiracy theories around her because of this. She's very difficult to find any information on. People say that she was Jeffrey Epstein's assistant. People claim that she ran like an adoption agency, which is obviously concerning considering your boss is Jeffrey Epstein. And apparently that is her name in the redacted file, but unredacted, her name is still in the files as well. And it seems like she was Epstein's somewhat assistant, or just like kind of managing like meetings he had based on the other emails that she sent. So a lot of this stuff is alleged about this person because we really don't know much about her other than there was someone named Susan Hamblin that was connected and associated with Jeffrey Epstein in some capacity. And again, it's reported that she was connected or ran or owned an adoption related nonprofit called Kids to Families, but we really don't know that much about her yet. And I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about this. I personally, like, is she legitimately talking about like death in this email? Yeah, it sounds like she's being serious. Obviously, like you can't read people's tones much, but like with everything else that's in these files, it's just so sick and twisted that I wouldn't be surprised. But who the hell is this girlie? Why is she giving permission to Jeffrey Epstein to kill someone? Like, what is happening? What is that? Who are you? Like, who are these people? There's so many people in the files that are being redacted, including the president of the United States, by the way, which is obviously just a whole nother issue that we've talked about several times. But the random redactions by the DOJ just feel very intentional, because they are. Obviously, they're supposed to be redacting the names of victims, and yet they have very much fucked this up. The DOJ has released not only names of victims, pictures of them, and has redacted the president. Like, we know for a fact, redacted a picture of Donald Trump, which, why? Why? Who else knows what lies in the unredacted files, but also the 3 million other files that are still out there that they are legally refusing to release, which is very, very frustrating. All right, on the same page, there is a very weird conspiracy theory about Ghislaine Maxwell and her obsession with Atlantis. And this is like the underwater city of Atlantis, and it's actually very weird when you look into it. So Ghislaine Maxwell founded something called the TerraMar project, which essentially made her out to be like an ocean conservation advocate. I don't know. But what's interesting is that TerraMar quietly shut down in 2019, right after Jeffrey Epstein was arrested again, which is obviously suspicious, but that's like not the only connection we have with the ocean and with Atlantis. So on Epstein's island, Little St. James, there was this blue and white striped structure with a gold dome, and a lot of people are pointing out that this looks similar to pictures of Atlantis that were drawn, and it could be inspired by it in general. general. I don't know if I think that part really adds up the most, but it gets weirder. So Jeffrey Epstein dies in 2019. After that, Ghislaine Maxwell disappears. And then in 2020, she's found in a secluded property in New Hampshire that's like remote and wooded and private. And the name on the deed, like she used a fake name, which was Janet Marshall. Now, Janet Atlantis Marshall was a feminist author, which again kind of points to this obsession that Ghislaine had with Atlantis and the ocean in general. Now, this is where the theory gets legitimate, and when you connect all the dots together, it is really strange. In the early 2000s, sonar scans off of the western coast of Cuba detected large geometric formations deep underwater. They were rectangular shaped, symmetrical patterns, and a lot of people described it as a potential underwater city. And apparently Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell asked Fidel Castro if they could have permission to dive at that site. And also she owned a freaking submarine for some reason. Like, I don't know. It's weird as hell, and I don't really know what the connection is here, but it makes me wonder that obviously Hollywood elites, celebrities, Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, have access to information that we don't have. And the fact that she was so obsessed with Atlantis is kind of strange, because maybe it really could have been something real and she had more proof of it because of her connections and her circles. I think it's an interesting concept overall, and a lot of people have the conspiracy theory that Jeffrey Epstein didn't actually die and he's actually in Atlantis living underwater. Girl, I don't know where you get that, but it's interesting nonetheless. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because I feel like Ghislaine needs to be studied. Like, she is obviously disturbing and disgusting as a human being, but like, why was she just so down to do all of this shit? That's a question that I think we should be asking more, honestly. All right, the last conspiracy that we're gonna be talking about has to do with a TikTok I saw regarding the Nancy Guthrie case. So if you don't know, we haven't talked about it yet here, but basically Savannah Guthrie's mother has been kidnapped, Nancy Guthrie, and at this point on February 20th, while I'm filming, she has not been found, and there has been like no information really at all. Honestly, it's very frustrating. But there is this conspiracy theory that there is this like weird neighbor could actually be a little guilty, and he's like claiming to be psychic. He has a weird vibe. I'm not saying it was him or that he did anything or that he knows anything, but this girl's TikTok very much piqued my interest. Okay,
whoever's investigating the Nancy Guthrie case needs to check this out. So I don't know who this is originally from, because I just saw it as a screenshot in the comment section of another TikTok video. But I don't trust anything I see online, so I did some research myself. Went back through the surveillance video, you can see it here. Again, you can see it here. And then I found the interview with the other guy who had this ring on his finger, and his interview's pretty interesting.
My name is Jason. I have a premonition that after day 2, I have a premonition that the son-in-law has something to do with it. Not sure exactly what, but it was very, very weird that after day 2, they showed a picture of the son-in-law with 2 guys, and it hasn't surfaced since. He's been out of the limelight this whole entire time. No interviews, no sitting with his wife during interviews, nothing. So I just have a weird feeling about it. I could be wrong, you know, but I don't want to speculate, oh, it's him, because I don't want to speculate. Everybody speculates.
I hear you.
I find this to be very interesting for a couple of different reasons. One, obviously the ring itself is interesting because you can clearly see the person, the kidnapper, is wearing a ring. It doesn't mean that they're the same ring. Lots of people wear rings. But what is weird about this guy is he keeps saying that I had a premonition, and it was like, I'm like, girl, are you psychic? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you could just say you had a feeling, or I don't know. It was just a little strange the way he's talking, and I'm not trying to accuse him of anything, but also it is very important in true crime cases. Like, I feel like when you've researched a lot of true crime cases, you notice that there is a pattern, that there will be these people who are the perpetrator, are the murderer, are the kidnapper, whatever the case may be, and they are like the first ones there trying to help the police solve the case, like to kind of cover their own ass, obviously. But what's weird, apparently this neighbor like lives 15 minutes away, and he's just like so active for some reason in the media. Like, maybe he just wants his 15 seconds of fame. I don't know, but I do think it is weird. I just think it's weird. I don't know if it's related or not, and honestly, I hope that they solve what the hell is happening here, because this poor old woman and her family, like, I can't even imagine how distressing that would be. But I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because I think that this could be a potential lead. Like, I feel like it should be further investigated. And obviously, if he didn't do anything wrong, then they'll find that out. But I would feel like any person who's like not a family member or like really close friend that's like kind of inserting themselves in trying to solve the mystery and the crime or whatever, it is just naturally kind of suspicious to me. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts, because I found it weird. But anyway, that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these different conspiracy theories. But that is it. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram and subscribe for new videos every week. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.